What's going on, everyone? My name is Tenebris Infinite, and welcome to some spicy news and information for the upcoming update that we're going to be seeing here in February. This update is right around the corner, and we managed to get ourselves a letter from the dev team today that's cracked open some information on this update and given us some insight on what we're actually going to be seeing here in February. So this all started just last Friday with the team making this kind of short but sweet little post, just kind of teasing things for the February update. The post reads, "Happy Friday and time to get ready, the next update for Generation Zero is coming soon. In this update, you'll see some new cool stuff going on, a lot of fixes, and a new little feature. Stay tuned next week for more information." So that's exactly what I've done here, and man, the Generation Zero gods are smiling down upon me. So we got this new letter from the dev team, and let's read through this here and start talking about what we're going to be seeing in the next couple weeks of February. Before we start reading this letter from the team, I just gotta say, this GIF here is so smooth. It's so smooth, my dudes. Oh man, I'm gonna have to keep my eyes off that smoothness and just kind of read through this letter here. So the letter reads, "We're back and we're excited to kick off a new year for Generation Zero. At the tail end of last year and the early weeks of this year, we've been working on some new stuff that will soon be rolling out to everyone. We'll give a more exact date once we've gone through the certification process, although we do want to share some of it with you now. A continuing trend you've likely noticed is that we keep updating the game world to feel more lived in, interesting, and compelling to explore. In our next update, we've kept up the pace with those improvements, and you'll see our handiwork in the eastern part of the Farmlands region." And so the likely area that is being talked about there is this kind of little chunk of the farmlands, hopefully going all the way up to just outside of the FOA facility over here. Because we've seen the updates kind of funnel up and along this way, but kind of cut off right around this Brosculla area. So it'll be really interesting to see what the dev team is cooking up with this kind of little chunk of land here and this little chunk of land up here. Aside from giving areas a general facelift or improving safe houses in the area, which, that's something. So actually in my first read through, I just glazed over that and I didn't really put much thought to it, but improving safe houses in the area? That's something interesting, and I'm really curious to see what that is potentially going to mean. I'm going to have to definitely keep my eyes on the safe houses as we go through this update here. But anyway, you'll also start seeing some other new elements that were definitely not there before. This includes some rarely seen things that may hint at other happenings in the world of Ustaturn. Anyway, we'll speak more in depth on what else is in store soon. With that said, here's to the start of another great year, the Generation Zero team. So my dudes, this is pretty spicy, and there's some things that we could kind of talk about here. So first off, let's talk about the release date for this update. With the team just going through the certification process now, or presumably close to this point in time, we can assume that the certification process is going to take probably ballpark somewhere 2 to 3 weeks. That puts us ballpark to the week of the 22nd, and I feel like that would be a good point to hope for the February update to kind of show up. Next up, the improvements to the safe houses. That is really, really spicy, and I'm excited to see what that potentially could mean. I don't want to get my hopes up too high, but it would be pretty neat to see the safe houses get a little bit of a sprucing up. And lastly, that kind of second last sentence there, this includes some rarely seen things that may hint at other happenings in the world of Ustaturn. This is really interesting too, and I have no idea what it means. It's really cryptic, so it's hard to even theorize on. But I'm curious, my dudes. I'm curious to say the least. So I want to know, my dudes, what do you think is coming down the line here in Generation Zero? Do you have any ideas as to some of these rarely seen things? What do you think about the improvements to the safe houses and the general facelift? Do you think that I'm on the money with the area that I'm thinking, or do you think that it's going to potentially just be a smaller segment of the farmlands there? And do you think that there's going to be something spicy coming for safe houses? Let me know all of your thoughts and feelings in the comment section down below. But for now, I've been Tenebris, you've been awesome. Thank you so much for watching this little bit of news and information for Generation Zero, and I will catch you dudes in the next one. Until then,